Hi, everybody. This is Lowell, and we're talking about how to start a music school. And we're talking about past schools and schools that exist currently, but were started quite a while ago that were esteemed, and I think that we can learn things from them in terms of establishing our own businesses. And I wanted to talk about the school that I got my bachelor's in music from. It's called the Juilliard School. Uh, Originally, it was started as the Institute of Musical Art in 1905 in New York City, and then in 1926 became the Juilliard School of Music. And there's so much I could say about the school itself, but in terms of how it relates to starting a music school as a business, Juilliard had a benefactor, and they uh, made sure that the students that were coming to the school were students that were highly talented, and many times they didn't have the monetary means of fostering that education. And so Juilliard made an intentional decision to make sure that they weren't reaching out to just the rich kids, but they were reaching out to the kids that had talent that were not necessarily very well endowed. And so that actually paid off in the end, where it became known for fantastic talent around the world. And of course, New York City has lots of talent, and people started coming from internationally to come to be a part of the school. But it always maintained a very, compared to other schools, a very average low tuition cost. But they had stringent entrance exams, and so I think that if I can remember correctly, average number of students when I was there was about 500 per class. And so it might have been, yeah, I think it was per class. Anyway, so that was one thing, is that they reached out um, to people that were not necessarily, they didn't have too much money, but they did have the talent. And the second thing about Juilliard that was, I think, made them very successful, is that they were very particular about what they offered. And when I went there, it was very well known for really two things. One was piano, and the other was violin. And they expanded from that to include a lot of other things. When I was there was no jazz department. After I had graduated around 1986, about 10 years later, they added a jazz department. But they also added a drama department eventually, and a dance department. And but predominantly, there weren't very many really successful music schools in the country back in the 70s. The ones that were most famous were Juilliard, Eastman, and Curtis, those three. And then since then, a lot of other schools around the nation and the world have really become really excellent schools. But Juilliard paved the way, and they did it through, the first thing is offering students that have the talent, good tuition costs. And then the other thing is that they focused on things that they could really excel at. And one of the teachers that was foundational from the strings department area was Ivan Galamian, and he was well known to have been in the early foundations of Juilliard and also Curtis. And I had the opportunity to study with and live in the house of his. He had several assistant teachers, about 3 or 4 assistant teachers at Juilliard, and I lived with and studied under one of his assistants. And then I actually taught for her as an assistant, so you could say that I was the assistant to the assistant of Ivan Galamian, who was one of the foundational pillars of Juilliard. But anyway, the strength of the school, I think, that we can glean for our school as we create musical environments for other children and other kids, is to try to make it available. Find the talent, search out the talent, and then make it possible for them to have added value, and then Secondly, is to really focus on what you do well and not to get too spread out in terms of what you offer.